"Warning, memory mites," read the sloppily written words on the sign. Thomas swore he saw the same sign several miles back. Again, he sighed to himself as he removed his shirt, wrapping it around his head and into a makeshift mask. He hiked up his backpack and trudged forward into the remnants of the country town. A silky, stringy substance covered a good majority of the town. Every so often, Thomas would catch sight of humanoid figures moving inside the web, but he knew better than to stop and check on them. Those were the poor souls destined to live out their final moments over and over again. Those were the victims of the memory mites. Memory mites were a nasty business. The mites would burrow into the head of their victim and create a nest. Then they would feed on the memories of their host and begin to rapidly reproduce, all the while forcing the host to repeat their last actions. Finally, they would begin constructing webs between the hosts to create one giant super nest. Thomas had heard stories of super nests that spanned entire cities, with millions of hosts and entire skyscrapers encircled in web. But he had never seen one for himself. Thomas almost felt bad for the mites' victims, but he quickly shook the feeling. He knew that sentimentality had been the downfall of many travelers. He knew that's how the memory mites got you. They could sense emotion. That's what Thomas believed separated him from the barkeep eternally wiping the counter clean. The less emotion, the better. As he left the town, he put his shirt back on and continued walking. Thomas hadn't always been a wanderer of the wastes, but it had been so long that he couldn't remember exactly who he was before. He would sometimes get glimpses of faces or flashes of life before, but nothing ever stayed. It didn't matter to Thomas, though. He scoffed to himself. He didn't need familiar faces, he didn't need companions. They would just weigh him down. But for the briefest of moments, he thought he remembered a face. An old companion, perhaps? Thomas once again shook the feeling. He couldn't let it get to him. He rubbed the silky goop from his eyes and read the sloppily written words in front of him. Warning, memory mites.